want to do something different today. For 5 episodes, we've been in difficult territory. Algorithms designed to exploit your loneliness, the trap of doom scrolling, the shame that follows a scam, the quiet devastation of comparing your real life to someone else's highlight reel. And there was also tech anxiety in the system that created it. Now, every bit of that mattered, and you needed to know it. But today I get to bring you something else entirely. Today I get to tell you about a scientific study that looked at nearly 500,000 people just like you, across multiple countries, and found something the headlines almost completely ignored. Something that directly affects your brain, your memory, your independence, and the news is actually good. I'm Michael. This is The Mind and the Machine, Episode 6. In April of 2025, researchers at the University of Texas at Austin published one of the largest studies ever conducted on technology use and brain health in older adults. They analyzed data from 412,000 people. Let me say that again. 412,000 people, adults from their 50s through their 80s and beyond, across North America, Europe, and internationally. Now, what they found challenged assumptions the public and the medical community had been making for years. People who regularly used digital technology, smartphones, computers, tablets, even the internet, generally had measurable lower odds of cognitive impairment. Not slightly, but significantly lower. Technology users were up to 58% less likely to show signs of cognitive decline compared to non-users. The protective effect held across every age group they studied, though. Your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, and even your 80s. That is a remarkable finding, and most people have never heard a word about this. Now, before we go further, let's be precise, because the words cognitive decline, they get thrown around in ways that can feel abstract or frightening without context. When researchers talk about cognitive decline, they mean changes in your ability to think clearly, remember things, process information, and make decisions. It exists on a spectrum. On one end, it might be forgetting where you put your keys more often than you used to. And on a more serious end, it could affect your ability to manage your finances, follow a recipe and you've made 100 times, or even recognize familiar faces. And for millions of adults in their 60s and 70s across North America and Europe, the fear of cognitive decline is one of the deepest anxieties that come with getting older. Which is exactly why this research matters, because it suggests that something you may already be doing every day, using your smartphone, browsing the internet, sending messages to your family, might be one of the most accessible tools your brain has to stay sharp. Now, the answer comes down to something researchers call cognitive reserve. Think of it as a savings account for your brain. The more mental activity you engage in over your lifetime, learning new things, solving problems, adapting to new situations, the more of that reserve you build up. And the more reserve you have, the better your brain can manage the natural challenges of aging. Here is what most people miss. Using a smartphone is not passive. When it feels routine to you, the brain is constantly working. It's navigating menus, processing information, making dozens of small decisions: which app to open, what to search for, how to phrase a message. And every time an app updates, every time a layout changes, every time you figure out something new, your brain is building and maintaining neural pathways. Now, neural pathways are connections between brain cells, and they respond to use exactly the way muscles do. You use them, and they strengthen. You leave them idle, and they weaken. Your smartphone every single day is giving your brain a workout you may not realize that you're doing. Now, numbers can feel abstract, so let's put this one into context, because it deserves to be understood for what it actually is. The researchers compared the protective effect of technology use to other lifestyle factors that doctors routinely recommend for brain health. The protection offered by regular technology use was comparable in magnitude to the benefit of regular physical activity. Sit with that for a moment. Doctors around the world, in the United States, Canada, the, the United Kingdom, and across Europe, have been telling patients for decades that regular exercise is one of the most powerful things you can do to protect your aging brain. And this study found that staying digitally active carries similarly significant protective effects, okay? This is not a minor footnote. This is a major scientific finding, and it deserves to be talked about more than it actually is. Now, I can already hear some of you thinking, okay, Michael, you've spent 5 weeks telling me that algorithms are manipulating me, that Facebook is making me feel terrible, that doom scrolling is flooding my body with cortisol, and now you're telling me my smartphone is good for my brain? Yeah, I am. And both of those things are true at the same time. This is what makes technology so genuinely complicated. Technology is a tool. A hammer can build a house, or it can break a window. The hammer didn't decide. The person holding it did. The difference is intention and awareness. Passively scrolling through a Facebook feed engineered to trigger your anxieties is not the same as video calling your grandchildren, or looking up something you're curious about, reading about a place you've always wanted to visit, or learning something that you want to do new on your phone. One is the platform using you, and the other is you using the platform. And your brain knows the difference of these two. Not all technology use carries the same brain protective benefit. The activities that contribute most to cognitive reserve are the ones involving active engagement, learning, problem solving, communication, creating. Here are the most powerful examples of those. Let's talk about video calling. So when you video call someone you love, your brain is doing something extraordinary. It's processing facial expressions, tracking conversation, managing social cues, and maintaining emotional connection. All of this simultaneously. That kind of rich, active engagement is one of the most powerful protections against cognitive decline that neuroscience has identified today. Now, learning something new online, whether it's a YouTube tutorial, a free online class, or researching something you're genuinely curious about, the act of learning builds new neural connections. The brain does not stop being able to learn at 60, 70, or 80. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to grow and adapt, and it continues throughout your entire life. Now, another one is writing and communicating digitally. Sending emails, writing messages, leaving a comment on a video, even texting your family. Writing requires your brain to organize thoughts, choose words, and construct meaning. It's one of the most complete cognitive workouts available to you at any age. Now, another one is figuring out something new on your device. Every time technology frustrates you and you work through it until you finally get it, recognize that moment. It's not as a small victory. It's as exactly the kind of mental challenge your brain was built to thrive on. Now, there is one more piece of this I think is critically important, and it connects directly back to episode 1 of this series. One of the most well-documented risk factors for cognitive decline in older adults is social isolation, loneliness. When our social world shrinks as we move through our 60s and 70s, when friends move away or loved ones unfortunately pass away, careers end, the brain, it loses the rich, complex stimulation that human connection provides. For millions of adults across North America and Europe, technology has become the bridge that keeps those connections alive. The friend who moved across the country, you can still see her face. The grandchildren growing up 3 time zones away, you can still be part of their daily lives. And the community of people who share your specific interests and passions, they exist online, and they're waiting to meet you. Now, research shows that older adults who use technology to maintain social connections report lower rates of loneliness, higher psychological well-being, and better mental health outcomes overall. Technology didn't replace human connection for these people. In many cases, especially through periods of isolation, it was human connection. And the brain benefits from that in ways science is only beginning to fully understand. I want to speak directly to a specific group of you for a moment. Some of you watching this video are not comfortable with technology yet. Maybe you avoid your phone because it confuses you. Maybe someone in your life, a family member, a salesperson, a stranger, made you feel foolish for not knowing something. And so you put the device down and you stay away from it. And I understand that completely. I am not here to judge it, but I want to share something with you in the most direct and caring way that I can. Every day that you avoid engaging with technology, not by choice, but out of fear or shame, your brain is missing stimulation it could genuinely benefit from. This is not about keeping up with trends. It's not about being impressive on social media. This is about your brain health, your independence, your quality of life in the years ahead, and you deserve access to that. That is precisely why Tech for Grownups exists. Not to make technology seem cool or inevitable, but to make sure the tools available to protect your brain and keep you connected to the people you love are not locked behind a wall of jargon and embarrassment that nobody should ever have to face. Let's close with something concrete, because this episode is about empowerment, and I want you to leave with action, not just information. Number one, call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Use FaceTime, WhatsApp, or whatever video calling app you may have. Hearing a voice is good, but seeing a face is even better. And your brain will thank you for that one. Number two, learn one new thing on your phone this week. Just one. Look up how to do something you've been meaning to figure out. One feature, one app, one small thing. The act of figuring it out is neurologically significant, not metaphorically, literally. Number three, I want you to read something you're genuinely curious about. Not news designed to frighten you. Something that genuinely interests you. A hobby. A place you've always wanted to visit. A topic you loved decades ago but drifted away from it. Your brain lights up for things it loves, so give it something to love. And number four, write something. An email to an old friend. A message to your grandchild. A comment on this video. Even a note to yourself in your phone. Writing activates more of your brain than almost any other digital activity. Now, number five, teach someone else. If there's something you figured out on your phone that someone in your life hasn't, teach them. Because here's a beautiful truth about the brain. Teaching someone else is one of the most powerful ways to reinforce your own knowledge and build new cognitive pathways. When you help someone else, you're also helping yourself. Here's what I want you to carry with you after today. The smartphone in your pocket is not just a device for phone calls and looking things up. Used intentionally, it is one of the most accessible brain health tools ever created. The simple act of engaging with it, learning, connecting, communicating, exploring, is your brain doing exactly what it was built to do. You're not too old. You're not too slow. You're not too far behind. You are a person with a remarkable brain that is still growing, still adapting, and entirely capable of being protected, nourished, and challenged. And I hope today felt different from our previous episodes, because I wanted you to walk away from this one feeling something specific. Not warned, not worried, capable. Leave me a comment. Tell me one thing you're going to do this week to put your phone to work for your brain. And I read every comment that's ever written on these videos, so I do enjoy it. I would genuinely love to hear from you. And if this video helped you, share it with someone who needs some good news today. Now, next week on The Mind and the Machine, we're going into territory that very few people are talking about. Technology and grief. What happens when we lose someone we love and find ourselves turning to our devices in ways we never expected. It's a powerful episode, and I think it will mean a great deal to a lot of you. I'm Michael. This is Tech for Grownups, and I will see you next week. Stay safe out there.